Okay, so as most of you know, or as you just seen, LeBron James had a, huge incident last night. Needless to say, with Isaiah Stewart, an elbow, a lot of blood, and then just, almost a Malice in the Palace part two. I give my thoughts and opinion overall on that next. And I'm actually also calling out my co host, my friend, Bobby B. Smooth. Bobby, I want you to actually take a, watch this and either react to it or just watch some of the highlights and then react to those because I know he's a LeBron fan. And as a LeBron fan, I want your perspective on what I say. And just I want you to convince me on why I'm wrong. But thank you so much, guys. Let's get to LeBron next. A Celtics fan's opinion about LeBron James. It's no secret that LeBron, a lot of his career was spent in the East, which obviously is where my Boston Celtics reside. Obviously, always bringing us head to head with him at some point. Well, tonight there was an incident every one of you seen with LeBron James and Isaiah Stewart that I wanted to address, and then I wanted to just kind of address LeBron James, my opinion on him all around. Understand that I was in middle school when LeBron was drafted, so I have seen his entire career. I'm talking about from his first game against the Kings. I mean, I've seen it all. And I've disliked him as a competitor because obviously, but I always respected him as a man, as an athlete, and his accomplishments up until a point, which I will talk about what changed that opinion. And starting off with tonight. So it just blows my mind how no matter what LeBron does, his people will come to his defense almost blindly. Like the narrative around the fact that it was an accident, it wasn't intentional. Guys, LeBron James has been playing in the NBA since 2003. He's been in the league, 18, 19, 37 years. I mean, how long has this man been in the league? How many games, many championships, playoffs runs has he played and competed in? I challenge you to find me a better mind in the game. Who has a better mind for basketball currently in the NBA? And I get the Chris Pauls, the Rondos, but all in all, LeBron is right up there, probably the best mind in the game, right? Isaiah Stewart's reaction alone tells you it wasn't an accident. Isaiah Stewart was born in 2001, guys. LeBron was drafted 2 years later. That dude was 2 years old when LeBron was in the league. Who do you think this young man grew up at the park, idolizing, emulating his game after? For my generation, we're at the park, it's Kobe, Iverson, T-Mac. I'm sure, the younger 10 years ago, it was LeBron, Steph, shit like that. So it's like, for him to react the way he did, and for it to be that type of injury, leaking, I believe it's some sort of, it was an elbow to the eye, I believe, and he, cut on the face tends to bleed quite a bit. I don't believe it was an accident. It looked like a frustrated, it was a free throw. What are we talking about? And LeBron wasn't even down low. It wasn't Jordan down low, so it was Jordan, Stewart, and then LeBron. What? How does that even happen, right? I believe it was a dirty play. I believe he should be suspended. And it just blows my mind that people are willing to make any and every excuse for this man, just like he has just got this incredulous record. Let me tell you something, guys. There is two ways to be considered a dirty player. And no, LeBron is not some dirty player in the manner of, doing shit on the court, right? But let me give you a Celtics fan's perspective, and I'll be the hater, right? He's a Celtics fan. Of course he's saying that, right? Let's go over LeBron James's career. This is a man that gets drafted by his, basically his hometown, Cleveland. I didn't blame him when he left for Miami. I understood that. He was playing with now Gauskas and players like that. It's like, of course I get it, right? But You leave Cleveland to join up with some other Hall of Fame superstars to win a championship. You're then okay with going back to Cleveland once they secure you some superstar, potential, eventual champions for you to go play with. Then you're in your mid-30s and you relocate to LA. And when he went there, I believe the consensus opinion, it wasn't even about like him going there to compete to win. It was more like he's getting ready to retire. He wants his kids to go to school there. He's getting ready for life after basketball in Hollywood. That's what I'm thinking, especially with that young core. So instead of going there and mentoring these young guys and growing with them, he once again was the leader of this young team. Shit the bed, missed the playoffs, right? Oh, I'm going to go into playoff mode and we'll be fine. Nah, bro, you didn't even make the playoffs that year. And what did you do? You traded away the entire core, and this is going to make sense. This is where the Celtics are going to come in a second. You trade the entire young core, which were, by the way, Brandon Ingram, who's an all-star, Lonzo Ball, who's as important of a role player, or I would say a key role player, not yet an all-star, but I mean, come on now, Lonzo's the real deal. Josh Hart off the bench, those are some solid additions, and they turned into some solid players in the very near future. Damn near the next season, Ingram was an all-star. So instead of you taking these kids under your wing, right, you trade them all for Anthony Davis, a top 5 player. You had to get another superstar in there, didn't you? And the way he did it, this is where the Celtics and the problem comes in. Let me take you back through the Celtics timeline, dating back to Isaiah Thomas's MVP season. Obviously, you get Al Horford that comes in, you get Gordon Hayward that comes in, then that Isaiah Thomas, we love you, the trade happens, you get Kyrie coming in, and you still got all of these picks, right? The writing was clear as day on the wall for Anthony Davis trade, pairing up with Kyrie Irving. I mean, it was years in the making. Celtics fans, right? Was it not like years? It seemed like this Anthony Davis thing just was inevitable. And then the 11th hour, Anthony Davis just happens to now be a Rich Paul, a.k.a. a LeBron James client, right? And his dad comes out and says he will never re-sign with Boston. It'll be a 1-year rental because guess what? Rich Paul goes to him and says, hey, y'all better come out and say this because Boston's going to make a really strong push for you and they probably got a better package to offer, so he'll probably end up there. I mean, right? But it is such an amazing hustle. I don't know why everyone doesn't do it. I don't know why Curry doesn't have his best friend run a free agent, an agency as the CEO. I don't know why Kevin Durant doesn't have his best friend run an agency. It's such an obvious, brilliant hustle. I don't know why they all don't do it, right? They obviously make these moves, and that's why I say dirty, right? He can't win on his own without these other top 10, top 5 players. So he finagles things behind the scenes with a very clear best friend plant as a CEO of a agency, which, by the way, Jason Tatum is signed to, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he's with Clutch, and if he is, God help us. But the fact that is really... You can't take these young men under your wing, these kids that are probably have grown up idolizing you, and just help them develop in your later years. Bro, you're in your mid-30s. We weren't judging you. You had already cemented it. You had gone back to Cleveland and done the impossible. We knew you were going to LA to chill. But no, you have to finagle these moves. That is dirty to me. And he stamps it tonight with that play on Isaiah Stewart. And it's just the shit that some of these people are saying to defend him blows my mind, right? I'll be the Celtics hater, but that is just a Celtics fan perspective on LeBron. He lost my respect when that whole Anthony Davis thing went down, when he traded away that entire, look at who those players have become. He traded them all away because he had to win another championship. Well, LeBron, you got that. And in your later grumpy ass years, you've been back how many games? I get it, bro. The Celtics just kicked the shit out of you. I'd be upset too. So you come back and you elbow a 20-year-old kid who probably grew up idolizing you? In a game they ended up winning. The Lakers won that game. Jags to riches, James Peters. I just wanted to get on here for a second and give my 2 cents and my opinion as a Celtics fan. Y'all have a great day.
check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.